Welcome back to Gravely Curious, where every whisper in the Garden of Memories cemetery points to a story, and some of those stories refuse to stay buried. I'm Jane Ladling, your nosy caretaker and part-time sleuth. This episode, we close the book on Chester Lloyd's death and finally unmask the person who turned cherry pie into a weapon, an ending over 3 decades in the making. Last time I tracked down Marianne Gates, former assistant to sketchy contractor Caleb Rowe. Not only did she confirm that Caleb was playing fast and loose with city funds, she also dropped a name I never expected: Cindy Townsend. Or Miss Cindy, as she's known to everyone in Arulian Hills. A woman who held the title of head librarian for close to 30 years. Someone we all adore, who used to tell stories with felt puppets to help us write our senior papers in high school, a stickler for rules, and a full-blown shusher, who by all appearances wouldn't jaywalk without a permit. And yet, she accepted a mysterious check from the city's renovation fund just days before Chester Lloyd died. Miss Cindy was a member of the same renovation committee that included Dottie Witherspoon, Beverly Hunter, Caleb Rowe, and our longtime mayor Harold Happy Bryant. So the dots are connecting. Marianne Gates also handed over a photo of the renovation committee with 2 members missing, Dottie and Beverly. So for the time being, I'm taking Dottie and Beverly off my suspect list. I know. Earlier I said I was suspicious because they weren't in the photo. But after a little thought, I've taken them off for the same reason. Don't worry, their names can go back on my murder board just as easily. After all, it's wise to suspect everyone of everything, and contrary to popular opinion, I usually get it right. Moving on. As much as I hate to do it, I must slide Miss Cindy into the number 1 spot on my suspects list. That check was the paper trail I needed. Probably. I think. But something hovers just out of reach, like a word on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't think of it. Yet. Something doesn't make sense. Unlike the other members of the committee, Cindy never bought something she shouldn't be able to afford. Beverly Hunter had expanded her bakery. Caleb Rowe bought a fleet of new vehicles for his contracting business, as well as a sparkling new pool. And the mayor, he just kept winning election after election while throwing elaborate shindigs. But Miss Cindy, she never threw parties, never expanded her home, never installed a pool or even a patio. What would a librarian indulge in? Maybe rare books, signed author copies? But she never flaunted those, never placed them in a display cabinet. Yep, there's that thread just out of reach. But maybe I'm on the wrong track. Maybe I'm looking at this from a skewed vantage point. What did she have in plain sight? Then it hit me. She had access. And she didn't have to dig because it came to her. In interlibrary loans requests, help with microfiche, and casual conversations around her as she quietly and efficiently did her job. She handled the reference desk like a gatekeeper in single-strand pearls and a sensible cardigan. Cindy wasn't nosy, she was trusted. She didn't gossip, she remembered. She didn't just have access, she was access. Access to the records, to the receipts, to the files, to secrets, to knowledge. And ding, ding, ding! That's what a librarian would value. Cindy Townsend collected information. A true curator, cataloging facts, cross-referencing conversations, indexing and preserving everything about her friends and neighbors, each detail that happened in this town. The idea of Miss Cindy possibly being the culprit made my stomach churn. Not dear, sweet Miss Cindy. But facts must be faced. People must be questioned, or in this case, confronted. I texted my on-again, off-again boyfriend, Conrad Ryan, so now you know his name. Finally, there you go. "Hey, going to speak to a murder suspect." I got an immediate text back, but I turned off my phone before reading it. I knew what it would say. "Wait until I get there," or even just a single word. "Don't." But I ask you, where's the fun in that? So here we go.
Clover Deering is not living her best life. Her pet spa is in debt, her temper has its own warning label, and now a terrifying, otherworldly berserker king just showed up demanding she corrupt a rival royal soul. In return, she'll get the one thing she's always wanted, a chance to meet the twin sisters she never knew existed. But King Victor Enders is no easy target. He's feral, he's furious, and he talks to invisible friends. And he might just be falling for Clover. Her plan? Tame the beast, rescue her sister, don't fall in love. But Victor's downfall is her only way to succeed, and if he fails, he may take Clover's heart with him. One twin, one king, one impossible choice. Only one will survive. Don't miss Clover and Victor's epic battle of hearts in The Stolen Bride, available now in print, ebook, and audio.
Okay, when I contacted Cindy, I wasn't prepared for her to say she was near the cemetery and would swing right by. I'd kind of planned on this meeting happening in a more public place, maybe her front yard, so I raced from the caretaker's cottage to the reflection center. I'm going to keep my phone recording and slip it into my pocket. And no, I won't be asking permission. My house, my rules. Not that I'm afraid of an octogenarian killing me and hiding the body, but it's better safe than sorry, right? She's stepping out of her car, armed solely with a purse. Okay, here we go. Hello, Miss Cindy.
Hi, Jane. Thought I might pay my respects while we talked.
Sure. Your family is in Autumn Grove, I believe.
Maybe we visit Chester's final resting spot. After all, that's why we're here.
Pleasant Grove it is then. This way, please. We're about to pass Muffin's Monument. Did you know that the first resident of a cemetery is
a dog? Yes, I knew. It's a lovely sentiment, isn't it? A beautiful creature to guide and protect all who live within the borders of their home.
How did you know that? Most people don't.
Oh, it's funny what you pick up over time. For instance, the yew tree, while beautiful, can be quite deadly. If ingested, it starts with weakness, dizziness, then a sudden collapse.
Also symptoms of a heart attack.
Exactly.
I think I'm starting to piece this together. The yew tree, deadly. Something a landscaper would know, especially one who loves local flora and fauna. I've got it! I know what happened! Come on, I want to show you something! I take her to the exact bench where I found Caleb's initials traced into the walkway he built, right by the yew tree hedgerow.
Tell me why you brought me here.
Yew trees, poison. Caleb built this walkway beside a yew tree hedgerow. Even left his mark, literally right beside them. He hated Chester and feared that he would out his money-making scheme. Then Chester dies of something that mimics a heart attack. And you knew.
Well, you did figure it out. Yes, I knew. Oh, I didn't know right away. Like everyone else, I thought Chester had a heart attack. It wasn't until I was examining books at the library and saw Caleb Rowe had not only checked out a book on yew trees, but rechecked it twice. I grew a little suspicious.
As a contractor and landscaper, that doesn't seem too odd.
It does for a man that bragged he knew everything about every tree and plant that grows around here.
How did he do it?
Well, I'm not going to share how to make a deadly toxin, but I did make sure all the school children of Aurelian Hills learned how to conduct simple research. I trust you can figure it out.
True. How come you never went to the police?
He got rid of Chester so easily, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I was afraid. I thought maybe I might be next, so I left clues hoping someone, someday, would learn the truth.
So you sent the complaint letter to the office and added clues to the base of Chester's stone. The carved rose with the broken stem wrapped around the broken column. Symbols of a life cut short.
The language of the headstone. Like I said, it's funny what you pick up over time.
But Caleb never came after you. And then he died. Why not say anything then?
By then, there was no reason to dredge up the past.
And you feared what would happen to you, I'm guessing.
Yes. After all, there's that incriminating check stub with my initials on it. Caleb liked to dangle it in front of me, remind me that he could make it look as if I was only dragging his name through the mud to keep the blame off him. Since no real physical evidence exists, I knew I wouldn't be able to prove otherwise.
But that left Chester Lloyd without justice. And now he can't get it. The man who killed him is already dead.
Chester wanted the wrongdoings in City Hall to stop, and they did. After Chester's death, everyone was too rattled to continue stealing, so ultimately, his wish was granted.
But his killer lived out the rest of his life without paying for his crime.
I know, and that's something I've had to live with the rest of mine, a heavy burden I've never been able to shed. But I'd like to, once and for all. Come, let me apologize to Chester and thank him for his work.
What's that you have there, Miss Cindy?
A few pieces of wheat tied together with a ribbon. It represents the harvest. Work well done. You can rest now, Chester.
I think my boyfriend's here. You might wish to skedaddle unless you want to have an awkward conversation with him.
I think I will head on home. And thank you, Jane.
Welcome to the only game show where you choose whether to fix the book boyfriend or nix him. It's time to play Fix Him or Nix Him.
The Stolen Bride Edition. He's Pharaoh.
Fix him or nix him.
He's a fierce berserker hundreds of years old.
Fix him or nix him.
Sometimes growls instead of using his words.
Fix him or nix him.
Says, "You're mine" in public.
Fix him or nix him.
Danger level, 5 flames.
Fix him or nix him.
Red flag meter, maxed out.
Fix him or nix him.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you for following along on this journey with me. Chester Lloyd's story reminds us that sometimes curiosity can be dangerous, but some secrets will only see the light if we're willing to ask the hard questions. As tradition demands, I'm off to visit with the bees of the Garden of Memories to tell them the news. Justice may have arrived late, but Chester Lloyd's voice, silenced so long ago, now carries on the breeze. Season 1 closes here, beneath the canopy of the yew trees and amongst these weathered stones and marble statues. Until next season, stay curious and know it's finally safe to eat cherry pie again.
If you've enjoyed untangling this mystery, remember, Gravely Curious is inspired by the Jane Ladling Cozy Mystery Series, where every grave has a tale and every tale has a twist. The Jane Ladling Mystery Series is written by Gena Showalter and Jill Monroe. Jane Ladling was voiced by Gena Showalter. Additional voices by Jill Monroe and other members of the Monroe family, who Jill dragged in front of a microphone, gave them a script and pressed record. Original Jane Ladling cover artwork created by Leni Kauffman. Music and sound effects through audiohero.com, Apple, Soundly, and Adobe. This podcast was written by Gena Showalter and Jill Monroe under the protection of fictional law and paranormal approval. If paranormal stuff happened at the Garden of Memories, which it doesn't, at all people, places, and cemetery complaints are made up. Any resemblance to reality is probably the work of unicorns. All rights reserved by Author Talk Media, LLC.